Mr. Trump issued his threats as the US forces launched large-scale strikes against Houthi targets.
In the shadows of global headlines, a devastating conflict rages. This is Operation Rough Rider, America's largest military campaign in Yemen, and you probably haven't heard enough about it. March 2025. The skies over Yemen's capital, Sana'a, light up with explosions as American missiles strike Houthi military installations. Civilians run for cover. Buildings crumble. This isn't just another Middle East conflict. It's a flashpoint that could reshape global trade and trigger a wider regional war. President Trump's promise of overwhelming lethal force against Yemen's Houthi rebels is being fulfilled with devastating precision. Over 60 people dead in the latest campaign. Infrastructure demolished. And for what? A battle over shipping lanes most Americans couldn't point to on a map. But this conflict matters more than you think. Nearly 15% of global maritime trade passes through waters now threatened by Houthi missiles and drones. 2 commercial ships sunk, 4 sailors killed. Over 190 vessels attacked since late 2023. Each attack sends shockwaves through global supply chains, affecting prices at your local stores. As Admiral James Stavridis, former NATO Supreme Allied Commander, starkly warned, what's happening in the Red Sea isn't just a regional skirmish. It's potentially the most significant threat to global commerce we've seen this century. The Houthis have effectively created a maritime choke point that affects everyone on the planet. But who exactly are these Houthis that America is bombing? And how did we get here? To understand today's explosions, we need to rewind to the 1990s in northern Yemen. The Houthi movement began not as militants, but as a religious revival group among Yemen's Zaydi Shia minority. Named after their founder Hussein Badreddin al-Houthi, they initially focused on preserving their cultural identity against what they saw as Saudi Arabian religious influence. When Hussein was killed in 2004, leadership passed to his brother Abdul Malik al-Houthi. Under his command, what started as religious activism transformed into armed resistance. By 2014, the Houthis had captured Yemen's capital and much of the country's north, triggering a brutal civil war that continues today. Abdul Malik isn't just any rebel leader. He claims direct lineage to the Prophet Muhammad, giving him powerful religious legitimacy among his followers. Despite countless attempts to capture or kill him, he remains elusive, appearing only in recorded broadcasts to rally his supporters. The conflict escalated dramatically in 2015 when Saudi Arabia, backed by American intelligence and weapons, launched a massive bombing campaign to defeat the Houthis. The results? Catastrophic. Tens of thousands dead, millions displaced, Yemen's infrastructure destroyed. By 2025, Yemen had become the world's worst humanitarian crisis. But the Houthis didn't break. Instead, they evolved into one of the region's most formidable fighting forces, armed with ballistic missiles and drones capable of striking targets hundreds of miles away. Their targets soon expanded beyond Saudi Arabia to include international shipping and even Israeli cities. The recent American strikes tell only part of the story. Behind the Houthis stands Iran, providing weapons, training, and strategic guidance. For Tehran, the Houthis represent a perfect proxy, a way to challenge American power and Saudi influence while maintaining plausible deniability. This turns Yemen into something far more dangerous than a civil war. It's become a battleground where regional powers play out their rivalries, with Yemeni civilians caught in the crossfire. In a single weekend this March, American airstrikes killed 53 people, including 5 children. Water facilities in Hodeidah were destroyed. Residential areas in Sana'a reduced to rubble. Meanwhile, the Houthis remain defiant. Their spokesperson recently declared, "For every American missile that falls on Yemen, 10 ships will face our fire in the Red Sea." This cycle of violence shows no signs of stopping, and as ships reroute around Africa to avoid Houthi attacks, shipping costs soar, contributing to inflation worldwide. The history of foreign intervention in Yemen offers a sobering lesson. For decades, outside powers have tried to reshape this country through military force. None have succeeded. From Egypt in the 1960s to Saudi Arabia today, Yemen has been called the graveyard of invaders. So what's the solution? Military experts increasingly acknowledge that airstrikes alone cannot defeat the Houthis. Their mountain strongholds, local support, and guerrilla tactics make them remarkably resilient against conventional warfare. Any lasting peace must address Yemen's deep-rooted problems: extreme poverty, water scarcity, political marginalization, and tribal divisions. It requires bringing all parties to the negotiating table, including Iran. As Operation Rough Rider continues, Americans must ask, what are our true objectives in Yemen? Is protecting shipping lanes worth the humanitarian cost? And most importantly, is there a better way forward than endless war? This conflict may seem distant, but its consequences reach your doorstep. From higher prices at the pump to regional stability and America's global standing, what happens in Yemen matters. The missiles falling on Sana'a tonight will shape tomorrow's headlines. The question is whether they'll bring us closer to peace or push us toward a wider war that nobody wants. This is Yemen's reality in 2025, a complex tragedy with no easy solutions, and a stark reminder that in today's interconnected world, there are no truly distant conflicts.